An old elephant, standing alone against 20 young lions and teaching them all a lesson: who is truly the king of Serengeti? This wasn't just a battle of numbers versus one. It was one of the rarest moments ever captured, where a single elephant, without a single kick or scratch, made an entire pride of lions retreat in silence. Come with me, back to that fateful afternoon on the golden plains of Serengeti, where true strength was redefined, not by claws, but by an unbreakable spirit. The late afternoon sun hung low over the Serengeti plains as the wind whipped across the fields of withered golden grass. A lone figure emerged, an old bull elephant with long tusks and a body marked by countless scars. The elephant moved with heavy yet majestic steps. No herd accompanied him, a solitary existence in this unforgiving land. He was searching for water, his pace slow, trampling over dry, dust-laden grass. But in the breeze carrying the scent of fading grass, another scent crept in, the scent of predators. From the nearby thickets, golden shadows began to slip out. 20 young lions, silent and deadly. Their eyes were razor-sharp. Not a sound, not a wasted breath. The wind howled louder. The grass bent low, hiding the stealthy advance. And then the circle began to tighten, and in that moment, as the old elephant realized what was happening, a single decision, a moment that would decide everything, awaited him. From both sides of the thicket, golden shadows began to split into two wings, silently tightening the circle around the old elephant. They didn't need to roar. Instinct told them exactly how to trap such a massive prey. The left wing slipped through the tall grasses. The right wing cut off the path ahead. Retreat, flank, every escape route sealed. A few lionesses crouched low, their eyes locked onto the elephant's legs, the only vulnerable spot beneath that armor of thick skin. The air froze. The wind stopped. Even the grass seemed to hold its breath. The old elephant halted, his great ears lifted high, catching every faint movement in the tangled grass. But instead of panicking, he slowly turned to face them, his gaze sweeping calmly over the tightening circle. In the middle of the blazing golden sea of grass, his massive body stood like a lone fortress. And then the first lions began to crouch lower, muscles tensed, ready to strike. Just one more heartbeat, and the bloodstorm would erupt. Amid the tightening circle, the old elephant stood perfectly still. His giant ears stretched wide like two mighty sails, tusks gleaming under the dying afternoon sun. He showed no fear, no hesitation. His cold gaze swept over each lion like a general surveying the battlefield. A heavy moment passed. Then suddenly, a young male lion let out a roar and charged forward like a living arrow. Claws outstretched, fangs bared wide. The entire pride jolted in shock, heads snapping upward. A few lions crouched lower, ready to follow, like waves poised to crash against the shore. Dry grass burst into the air under the pounding paws of the young lion. The distance between him and the old elephant now measured only in heartbeats. But the old elephant, he didn't wait to be attacked. A quake was about to erupt. The moment the young lion lunged forward, the old elephant stomped his foot into the earth. The ground shook, dust erupted in thick clouds, swallowing the entire field. That thunderous stomp made the entire pride flinch and stumble back. Without missing a beat, the old elephant lowered his head, swung his massive tusks, and charged, faster and more furiously than the lions could have ever imagined. The young lion skidded to a halt, panic flashing in his eyes, claws tearing at the ground. Gone was his earlier bravado. In a heartbeat, he turned tail and fled. The whole pride, those who had just tightened the deadly circle, faltered, eyes wavered, steps hesitated. The confidence that had flared moments ago vanished. Through the swirling clouds of dust, the old elephant stood firm, a living statue of stone. Just one more step. Would the lions surrender completely? Without needing another counterattack, the old elephant began to walk forward. Each step landed heavy and steady, like hammer blows driving into the earth. The lions, those who had moments ago intended to kill, now instinctively parted, ears flattened, eyes averted. Not a single one dared to challenge him. No roaring, no claws. They simply stood silent, opening a path for the old elephant, like loyal subjects bowing before a king. The old bull moved calmly through the pride, his long tusks swinging in rhythm, the golden sunset washing over his back like a royal cloak. The wind rose, carrying dust and dry grass swirling behind each step he took. Behind him the pride could only stand frozen in awe and complete submission. But the greatest lesson was only just beginning. The silhouette of the old elephant disappeared behind the thickets. The entire field sank into an eerie silence. Only the sound of the wind whispered through the bent stalks of dry grass. The pride of lions stood frozen. Their eyes no longer held arrogance, only confusion and quiet awe. They had surrounded him. They had prepared to strike. But with a single stomp, a commanding gaze, and an unyielding stride, the old elephant made them all retreat. No blood spilled, no roaring, only absolute conviction, purely through sheer presence. The lesson from that day would live forever in the hearts of the lions. The greatest strength does not need violence to prove itself. True authority is when others bow without being forced. The sun disappeared completely. The skies over Serengeti turned a deep dusky purple. And on the wind, a long, echoing call carried across the plains. Not a challenge, but a declaration. I am still the king. And to every predator born thereafter, remember this: true power comes from the way you walk, not from the wounds you leave behind.